It sounds simple, but did you know that there's a wrong way and a right way to do drop shadows inside Canva? In today's video, I want to share with you some really great hacks to make your shadows look professional and premium rather than murky and amateur and just gross. For example, we're going to take this graphic and make it more like this, and this graphic and make it more like this. And when you make these little changes, it's not that much extra work, but it creates a huge value of professionalism in your designs, which is going to get your business seen quicker with more trust. So let's dive on in. All right, so I'm going to create a design now inside Canva. I'm just going to say text here. And for example, this is the brand colors of one of my students, and we worked on this together inside a program of mine. And she has some really lovely fonts and colors, but a mistake I see people often making is they have this great text and they're like, hey, you know what? I want to add in a shadow to this text to make it feel more interesting because this design's feeling a bit flat. No, my friend, don't do it. Because what will happen is when you add a shadow, this is the rule I want you to remember. Do not add shadows to dark text. When you add shadows to dark text, by doing that, you can just click on your text box, go to Effects, and you can select the drop option. You can also press glow. That does a very similar thing, or you can press some of these others. Lots of these others I wouldn't recommend using because it gets even messier. But can you see when I add in this glow, this beautiful little drop shadow, and especially if I increase the intensity of this, which just shows how dark the background is. When you add dark glow around already dark text, it just makes it look murky, makes it look more unclear. And the purpose of good design is actually to look clearer, not to look less clear. So we want to avoid this at all costs. So what I want you to do instead is not have the dark text, but actually use light text on a darker background is a really great way to when your shadow actually pops. Can you see how much clearer and crisper and nice this looks? I've still got the shadow on it, but because it's light text, it's actually creating, the shadow is actually helping it pop out and separate it from the background even more than what it would be if that text was dark. So just to kind of remind it of what some text effects you can use. Glow is a really great one. This drop one is also good. You can see it offers more flexibility. You can probably create the exact same effect with drop and glow, but I usually recommend using glow if you're in a quick rush and you want a really beautiful drop shadow. This one's really good because in drop you can actually do it wrong. So the transparency is going to make this darker. So I'm going to just bring that up so you can see exactly what I'm doing. The offset will make the shadow further away from the text or closer to the text. So I'm going to bring that away a little bit again so you can see what I'm doing more. And then this blur means it's either going to be really crisp. You can see if I have no blur, it's really crisp, or if I increase the blur, it's going to create it more and more blurred. So you can see that there. What you want to avoid doing for any time you're adding a shadow is making the shadow the hero. A shadow should only ever be something that you barely notice. It's kind of just a subtle way to create depth and dimension in your designs. But the second you start to do what I've done here, where the shadow becomes far too prominent, and especially if I even had the blur down more and it was just kind of like this, it becomes part of a design decision. And while you can do that occasionally, it does become a bit of a design feature that you're doing. Most of the time for most of us, unless we're doing that really, really intentionally, you're going to want to have your shadows much more subtle. So I recommend either using the glow, which will do that automatically, or if you are going to use the drop because you want a little bit more flexibility, keeping the offset relatively close to it, increasing the blur so it's not really noticeable, and lowering the transparency. And this will change depending on the color of your background. If you've got a white background, the transparency is going to be quite low. But if you've got a really dark background, that transparency might be higher. You do also have the flexibility to change that shadow from black to something else. Usually though, a good rule of thumb is usually black. I find that works 90% of the time. So you can try other shadow colors, but in essence, a shadow is a variance of black, if like in the real world. And so doing it like that makes the design look more realistic and more professional. So I'm just going to bring that shadow down. This is kind of what I'd recommend as a good level for this kind of color combo. So those are some things to know about shadows with text. The other way that you can apply shadows on a regular basis to your designs is, say, for example, I was adding in maybe this photo of Brazil and I wanted to just put that onto this background and have this sitting on my design. Lovely, fine, let's add in a shadow. So you can do that in two ways. The first way I'm going to show you is the default way, and there's nothing wrong with this way, but after after that, I'm going to show you what the professionals do that make their designs look really elevated. So the default way, which is still recommended for some use cases, is to go and click on your image and then select edit. And when you go to edit, you can scroll down here until you hit shadows. I'm going to press see all, and you can see a wide range of shadows here. There is a few different options here you're welcome to play with. I won't go into all of them per se, but the main one we're going to look at is drop. This is kind of doing the same kind of effect we just did to our text, but on a photo. So if I click on drop here, you can see that it's added in that nice little shadow. Because I cropped that photo down, it's actually cropped the shadow too. So if you don't want that, I'm going to bring this photo back out and you can see it's captured all of the edges of that design as well. So I'm going to bring that to be like this. Beautiful. So if I click on edit again, I'm going to go back to my shadows. You can see, even though I exited it, I can still go in and edit it. So if I click my mouse on where I've already selected drop, you can see it's now got this filter option to edit the options within this shadow. So I'm going to click on that. And again, I can choose how blurry I want that to be. And it's going to make the photo smaller when I do that because it's trying to fit the more blurred shadow, which is technically bigger inside the area I'm already working with. So if you do this, just know you might need to resize your photo after you finish this process. I'm going to blur that a lot more. I might change the angle if I wanted to. That just changes where you can picture where the sun's coming from. So in this design, technically, if there was a sunshine on this graphic, the sun will be coming from my top left corner coming down, which is why there's a shadow on my bottom right. I can also change the distance away from the photo that my shadow is. I usually like to have it so it's definitely on one side, but not like drastically so. Maybe there's a little bit of a blur on the opposite side at the top. So I'm going to leave mine around there. And intensity is like that transparency. It says how dark or how light I want that shadow. And again, you don't want to have this super obvious. You just want something to make it feel a little bit like it's got some depth. So around here is just perfect. Now, this is option one. Your other option, if I just duplicate this page, is to remove that shadow. So I'm going to go to edit, shadow, see all, and I'm going to select none to take that shadow fully off. And you can see that my photo refills that space. I'm actually going to go to elements now and I'm going to type in shadow. When I type in shadow, if I go to the graphics section, that's where I really want to hang out, you're going to see a lot of little shadow options here. Now, the choice that you make here will depend on the kind of look you want and also the kind of shape you're working with. For me here today, because I'm working with a rectangle or a square, I'm going to look at some of these shadows here because these ones here, say if I was to insert this one, I'm just going to click on it and it's going to insert into my design. And what I'm going to do with this shadow is actually sit it right at the bottom of my page and make it the same width as my photo. And when I leave that, can you see how subtle that is? It's almost too subtle, you barely recognize it, but you can recognize it if I was to make a version with and without. So there's without and there is with. It's really quite subtle. I'll do another one with a shadow that you can see a bit more of. So this one here has got a similar effect. I'm going to make it the same width as my photo and drag it so it sits right underneath. And it kind of creates a bit of it creates a cooler level of depth. It actually kind of looks like my corners are floating up a little bit because you can see here the shadow is kind of curved. It's got this edge that kind of plops in and then it kind of goes up and then it goes down. And this looks far more professional and far more intricate. And so you can use this for photos. I could use this for even like a button or a box. So maybe I'm going to do a dark box. Maybe I'll pop some text on it and I might remove my shadow on that because that's getting a lot happening. To remove a shadow for text, you just click on the text and you press remove effect and I can delete that there. And you can see it kind of looks like, again, this box is just sitting on top of something. And I can change the transparency of this if I wanted to, just by clicking on my shadow, because this is just literally an image. There's nothing fancy about this. It's just a picture. I'm going to lower the transparency of that by hitting this button here and lowering that there. You can see that there it becomes a far more subtle, which is how I'd recommend doing it depending on the background you're working with. So this kind of shadow is a little bit better than this one, and it depends on the look you're going for. Sometimes this is the right solution, but sometimes you want something a little bit more subtle, a little bit more kind of fancy, and this is a great way to do it. And so you'll see down the side here, there is a ton of different options. A lot of these are pro, some of these are free, and you've got these square ones that are great for boxes, or you can even use ones like, say, for example, I was doing some text on a design. Let's remove the shadow again. And I go back to my shadows over here. If I added it in a circle underneath this, it's actually going to make my text look like it's floating. Can you see if I lower that transparency as well? That text now looks like it's floating above an invisible ground that's here. That's the power of a shadow. I could even do a similar thing, like if I wanted to have like even a photo. Say if I grab my photo here and used a different kind of picture, I can pop this picture and sit it there. And again, that's just another easy way to do a shadow. Instead of doing this version here, I could just do a little rectangle or a little oblong kind of version and paste that underneath my picture. And this can be great for, I can bring it down and it looks like the picture's kind of floating. I can bring it here and make it look like it's floating a little bit. I can do this to anything. I can add a shadow to anything. I can add a shadow to a person. I can add a shadow to a phone mock-up. I can add a shadow to a laptop. Anything at all you can use these little shadows for. Some nuances around these is, again, don't make them the hero of the design. I don't want this to be like, say if I was to use this one here and made it really big and sat it kind of there. This is kind of taking away from the design, right? Whereas I want it to be much more subtle. And that's another nuance to add as well is, can you see I've accidentally put my picture, I did this on purpose to show you, but I accidentally put my shadow on top of the picture. We always want to make sure our picture is on top of the shadow because the picture is the thing making the shadow. So it makes sense that the shadow is underneath the picture. So I'm going to go to my layers tab by clicking on position while I've got one thing selected, and I can either send that backwards, and you can use keyboard shortcuts for that if you want to, or you can go to layers and move things around. But we always want that shadow underneath whatever we're working on. But this one's far too strong. I would actually make this a lot more subtle if I wanted to, and probably actually drag that underneath the picture, and that looks a whole lot better. Another nuance again is the coloring. Please make sure that it's black. If you're using different and funky color shadows, it's no longer actually a shadow. It's more just a fancy effect that could make your design look busy and a little bit amateur. And you can also see different designs here, like this shadow here could be really great if you wanted something to feel more 3D and being thrown away from it. And so there's a ton of different options here. Some are good, some are bad quality. These are all just Canva elements. Some of them you can't just think, oh, this was here, so it must be great. Some of them don't work. Some of them like crop and the blur is actually trimmed and it feels really harsh. Some of them are actually kind of like a gray color that's not really black, and so it makes your design look a bit washed out. Just double check what kind of shadow you're using and make sure it just looks really lovely, but most of them are fine. So go ahead and play with some of these. If you want to add a little bit more depth, this is a bonus tip for you. Sometimes if my design's feeling boring, say this one here, I wanted to add in some interest. There is also foliage shadows. So if I type in like leaf here or even room, I can add in like this cute little shadow at the top here. It looks like I'm kind of like there's a leaf kind of casting a shadow on my design. Or if I do shadow room, I could do a similar thing here and have like this kind of like window kind of look, kind of shadowing and casting a shadow on my design. This one doesn't work so great because it's grey, it's not black. As you can see, that's not working amazingly. So even if I use this one, I could make it like the full page and just drag this around and just changes the look of the design. You probably make this one quite a bit more subtle, but there's options there for you to have a play with this kind of thing and create some visual interest in your designs. If it aligns with your branding, it aligns with what you're sharing. Just to add one more bonus tip as well, if you are doing a person, so say for example, this is one of my clients, Bronwyn, whose brand I helped with, and say she wanted to add a picture of herself onto a design, we might remove the background. And then if I click on her, I can actually for example, I could use one of those shadows that I just found. Say for example, if I go back to shadows, I could find one that's a bit of a funky kind of shape like this one, and I could maybe rotate it around a little bit and pop this a little bit behind her, lower the transparency. And you can see that just helps her to pop out from the page a little bit. Or you can use a similar effect to what I shared with you earlier too. I really like that one actually, that works effectively. You can also click on the picture, go to edit, and then again, go down to shadows like we did earlier, select drop, and you can add in a drop shadow. But again, we want to make sure that the blur for this is quite strong, so it's not really obvious, and that the distance and the intensity is quite low. Again, unless you wanted to make the shadow a feature of the design. So sometimes people will do things like having a really low blur level and a really high intensity, and that also has its own look as well. So it just depends on the kind of look you want your design to have. And then I recommend whatever you choose to do, use that consistently. That becomes part of your brand style and your brand look. And that's where your business can really begin to flourish. It's using the same kind of design effects over and over again that creates trust and recognizability in your brand. If you want to have a really great brand where you know the colors, you know the fonts, and you know what kind of style you're using over and over again, I have a free masterclass I'd like to invite you to. I'm going to share with you some building blocks for your brand. I'm also going to share with you some DIY mistakes that I see a lot of business owners making that are costing you sales. Plus, I'm going to share with you some Canva shortcuts, a few of which I actually used today but didn't go over. So that's all free inside my Design Tools to 100K workshop. So make sure you sign up for that. The link is in the description if you'd like to join. In the meantime, thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe to catch more design and Canva principles. My name's Jacqui. I didn't introduce myself at the start, but it's been a pleasure having you here. My dream and my goal is to help business owners just like you create incredible branding and graphics to help their businesses grow, because design isn't just about looking pretty, it's about creating graphics that convert. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you at that masterclass, and have fun using drop shadows. Bye.